Bringing the vision into a mission. This is Global Mission of Peace with the GoldFish Report. On January 20th, 2016, I am Radagast, and I am here with our media outreach, Louisa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Sanjay, the wonder from down under, is with us.
G'day all.
And the voice of the dragon, and my friend, all our friend, the ambassador. Welcome.
Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome to the GoldFish Report. Today we're going to have what we call like updates that we're going to do from time to time, and like some small reports in relation to some world events that's going on, and also a little bit update maybe from some future people that's going to come on the GoldFish Report also in the coming time. Okay, and so maybe if you, Louisa, have something to say, you could start talking now, and then I would end in a rant.
Okay. Yeah, as the ambassador said, we're introducing a new format for the GoldFish Report, and it's actually called the GoldFish Update. So we're going to actually have two. So there'll be the GoldFish Update, which are going to be shorter videos that we're going to be posting. So for people who just want to see what's, in case something major is going on or we have announcements to make, we can do shorter versions. And then, of course, the GoldFish Report itself will be the more full-length interviews and in-depth discussions regarding major, usually very specific topics. So we have the GoldFish Updates, which are going to be much smaller and, very quick, kind of 20-minute videos, and then update reports. Not really a report, but it's like updates. So having said that, I also wanted to mention that we have some events coming up. I think Radagast is going to discuss one of them. And we also have many really wonderful guests that we're going to be bringing on to the GoldFish Report to discuss the unveiling of what's really going on in the world, and also some mystical things. We don't want to just be presenting, there's some people who might think that we're fear porn, and we're not. We're nothing about fear porn. And what we're trying to do is wake people up by revealing, like peeling back layers of the onion and revealing really how the world works. But we also want to offer positive messages as well. So we have people on, we've had Bo on, who is a metaphysical healer, and we've had Bill White on, who is a psychologist and helps with relationships. So we do try to offer a balance to our viewers, to offer hope, and to offer really positive ways of healing, things about meditation, and also things about how you can develop spiritually as a person. So having said that, I wanted to ask the ambassador if he would like to start his updates.
Yes. I wanted to address that we have, as many people who maybe have seen, and some people have not maybe seen it, so then I will announce it. Basically, we have Love for All and Hatred for None Day, which is being organized by the Global Mission of Peace, which is a great success. Maybe Radagast will give more details about that when I'm finished, about that particular, and also with other outreach which we have, which is the gathering, which also Radagast will give more updates about. And also at the same time, we have some other special guests that I'm going to bring forward that are going to talk about, the Asian meditation and also Asian martial arts. We're going to have a discussion forum about that. We're going to have one of the grandmasters, an old friend of mine, coming on to talk about that in the coming GoldFish Report. Also, I want to address, many things that's been happening. We see now that it seems to me that by the days go by that the financial collapse that I was talking about, it already have happened a long time ago, that has been held alive, basically like a brain dead animal or person that is kept on life support. This life support is slowly, step by step, being removed, as it looks like. And I think that people should be aware and look after their temple and their own economies this time and of money, and be aware of what they're doing and pay attention to that. I do also believe that with all great news that I have, that we're gonna overcome that 666 system by the 555 during this year and in the next coming days. And in that particular situation that we are today, we need to basically dismantle the old system to maybe, reborn through ashes like a phoenix, the new system. And I think that's what we are seeing as we are speaking. At the same time, is a lot of activity and positive things happening inside the symposiums and inside of the gatherings that we are having. And the project finished is moving on, and we are, working. So we're also going to have this new Global Mission of Peace TV that's going to be coming up, where the people that has the projects inside the Global Mission of Peace will, do documentaries and talking about their own projects. It's very important to say. Some people say that the Global Mission of Peace and everything is done is all about the ambassador, but this is not really true. It's all about the unity and the family. And basically, it's time that the people that has done the hard work and now sitting with the fruits of their hard labor with the projects, that they need to come out and talk about their situation. Also, we have Sanjay that also has been, going through this floating process and this special water treatments. Maybe he would like to address something about that in the end, also how he feels about that. And so it's a lot of different things. During this year that has been going, we have been having a lot of the people that has gone to China and Hong Kong and met with the family and met with RD and have been developing a good relationship and basically seen with their own hands who they're dealing with. Okay, and it has been engagement between our family and our new family members in a way that has been very, very prosperous and very, very successful and good. If I look at the negative aspects during the period of time that we've been on, we have been having some goldfishes aggressing on us from time to time, and people not understanding things, and people with limited minds, and some people who also doesn't want to get out of a closet and and realize who themselves are. And I've been stressing since I came on this program is that to reflect on yourself and reflect on yourself in the mirror. And unfortunately, this is a problem that I see with majority of the people that we are dealing with here on the planet. That people are, renting out aggression and renting out accusations, and in reality, all the time, not all the time, it has been any single foundation to anything which has been coming on. And but some people likes to be in that box and continue in this box. We have also seen people continue the struggle in their own lives. We have people that came into this in a very fragile point in their life. People with a lot of financial problems and house issues and issues with their health and issues with things. And in many cases, a lot of people who came in with health issues has actually been healed. And, a lot of people have, had a good success. I see that, I think people need to continue the prayers for people like Ron and many others who still struggling, with their lives. And I think it's important that we always having, the mind of trying to support and help people instead of always aggressing and trying to put down people. As many people may be aware that some people even developed like a hate page site almost for Ron, and also some, accusations against me. And, it's for me, myself, I, don't really care because it's so much, nonsense and, almost on some answers almost like retarded. arguments that's going on there. So I don't even care about it. But I know that some people who really much care for, what other people always you have to always shine. It can become a very negative, sad thing for the people who lives here on the YouTube and lives in the arguments on Facebook and stuff like that, which is not the important thing. We need to keep the focus on what is the important thing, is that so to change our lives and continue to do our mission. And now I've been been helped because people even are channeling me according to some information. So now probably I can stop doing the GoldFish report totally and just leave it up to the channelers, and so I don't even need to express myself anymore. So that's also wonderful. I think that's it's a step in the right direction. Now I don't even need to talk anymore, and so I think that's important to continue the struggle. Okay. Now, when we look at the world situation, we address the situation here with Iran, and we address the situation with the media. And it's quite interesting because United States media has been promoting that Iran has now released their hostages. Now we have to see a difference between criminals, prisoners, and hostages. It seems to me that people in the media has no clue the difference. And if we look at that, in that case, I think United States and Europe is holding a lot of hostages for many nations around the world. And I think they should not really point any fingers. What can we do to help the world to get these people instead in good position? I think instead of continue this as a negative thing, I think it's a positive thing that this 4 prisoners was released. Okay. Now on Intel, I think that this last one that used to work for CIA, I think that he's not maybe even held by the authorities. He's most likely was held by some criminal organization inside of the country because of the work that he's done. But because of the media doesn't want to express the truth of things, they always like to use things to provoke fear and provoke austerity between nations and people. And it's important to have a GoldFish report as a balanced tool of and yang and yin and yang, basically to balance all this, incorrect information that is put in the media all the time. And also at the same time, I would like to address, the thing with the financial world. This is not a news. This is something that I've been warning about to the people from the beginning. And yes, you can believe and hope that the tooth fairy is coming with money to you and save you in the end. All this form of escapism needs to be stopped, and you need to keep the focus on the mission. I see that there's a lot of people, especially a certain group of people, that doesn't really understand when I say things and do things. I don't know if it's a language barrier or if it's just that in their own world, in their own mindset, they are used to be extremely needy people, and and also at the same time living with this feeling that they are victims all the time, and doesn't want to escape the reality. And I think this is important here, that many people in the global mission of peace has been having problems when they came into the organization, and they are struggling and continue the struggles in their life. And even when people have money, doesn't mean that when you have money that struggle will disappear. Sometimes money comes even with more problems. And it's very much important to keep the focus on what's important. And that's basically to do the projects and do the shift and changes in your own lives, which is important. And as I start talking before in the beginning, is that it's important to keep the focus on changing ourselves and also not allowing bad things to happen. You see, like we look at a very important double morale that you can see. You have this hostage crisis, or not hostage crisis, but what's called this Bondi group that has been taking over some land in the United States and it is federal building and so on. We could just reflect and say that, just imagine if it was a few Muslims that did the same thing here. it would be immediately labeled as a terrorist attack, and probably all people involved would be killed a long time ago. If it would be black people or colored people, it probably would be beaten up or tased to death or whatever. We need to get up a thing. On one case, I will say that even though I think that these people that involved in this Bondi thing might look like a group of hillbillies and as a group of white Christian fundamentalist terrorists, it still is people that is fighting the system, and it's a problem with the system. And so basically what we need to do is to see and look, why is these things happening all over the place? And that is something that we need to keep the focus on, and not just the results. So a lot of people crying that they need to do something about it, and people saying that, oh, we need to support them. And I believe that it's a reason why all these problems happening around the world. And I think that it's important that people actually sit down and look at why do we have all these problems? And is the governments and the states all around the world acting out of the people's interest, or do they acting upon the interest of other financial cocoons, or what we can call them, which people call the cabal and others? So I think it's important that we use all these things that we see in the media, use discernment, look into it and see the root causes of a problem. And when we do that, basically, like I said many times before, is that we are the root of good and evil. And, we have to take the right decisions, and we have to voice our opinions when something is wrong. And we have to give the support to people that even doesn't matter which, religion they belong to, what type of group they are, or whatever. We need to support them, okay, if they are right, okay. So that's very important. Also, we see here that, today Israel was saying that they are supporting the creation of a Kurdish state, and that's quite interesting. And it seems to me that the Kurdish people maybe deserve their own state, and at the same time, it's maybe also to create a new Kashmir or create a new obstacle in the region too. And I think it's important for us to recognize each other as human beings and try to cooperate each other to live successfully. We have to stop this nation building and this aggression on people. Doesn't matter which religion we belong to, what ethnicity we belong to. We all are creators, and we are all created by the same creator, and we are the same, people that feels love, feel hate, feel sorrow, and we need to keep that into focus and not be so judgmental and hateful. And I think it's important that in these days of hope that we have with all these different outreaches, we need to put the focus on love and try to put the less focus on fear and hate. And if we could have one day when we all unify in that and not be judgmental, I think we're going to have a great success. And with that, I would like to see if Radagast have something to give an update in relation to these different things I mentioned before.
That was a good rant. So, actually, there's a lot in your rant that ties into, because the gatherings that we're doing, the Global Mission of Peace gatherings we're having are kind of an example of what can be done. One of the things I'm coming to realize is that through cooperation, the power that we have to do things is greatly multiplied. Even in case with the very first GMOP gathering we had, it wasn't, everybody kind of brought something to the table, whether it was some food or whatever. We had, a really good sized gathering, and basically people just brought some food and made it happen. It wasn't like, oh, we needed a big expense budget. And some people have nothing, but most people have a humble amount. But we also have a lot of other assets besides the money in our pocket. And when people come together to cooperate, and kind of pool their talents, not so much pooling money, but pooling what they have and what they can do. It's amazing and powerful things can happen. And I really urge people to realize the power of gathering, of coming together, of like minds coming together with a purpose. And what we do in our gatherings is our purpose is for letting people know that there is an organization, GMOP, that has a humanitarian outlook for the rest of the world, and we're trying to expose people to it. So, this next gathering that we're having is a special gathering, because the gathering itself is on Saturday, January 30th. And it will be our normal gathering with, food and speakers and networking and music. But the next day, because the place that we're having, we're able to get for 2 days rather than 1 day. So we're going to have the gathering on Saturday, and then Sunday is going to be our Global Mission of Peace, Love for All, Hatred for None, or the Ambassadors Initiative Day. And that, besides the fact that that's going to be a big hit down in Floyd, Virginia, where we're having it, it's turning into a really big thing on Facebook. So this initiative is global in its reach. And so it's really hoped that while we're having our Love for All, Hatred for None Day on Sunday in Floyd, Virginia, we're going to be joined by other people doing similar things. And as far as I know, there's going to be a lot of activities on that day. And what's nice is that the place that we're going down in Floyd, Virginia is a place that's mentioned in Edgar Cayce's readings. And what is particularly interesting is because Edgar Cayce, when he gave his readings, either in the late 40s or early 50s, said something that nobody really believed, and which he said that out of Russia, not the Soviet Union, but out of Russia, the light of the world would arise. Now, I know there's still quite a few Putin bashers out there, because a lot of people get their information about Russia and Putin from the news, and they bash, Russian aggression, the Russians are coming, the Red Scare, all the rest of that nonsense. But for those of us who can see things, we see in the Russian Federation and in the leadership of President Putin, we see a light in the world arising out of Russia, as Cayce said, Edgar Cayce. So I think it's kind of interesting that Edgar Cayce also said that this particular county in Virginia, where we're going to have this gathering, is going to be one of the places that will be calm and safe and protected from the tumults that would be coming in our times. So I feel a certain kind of synchronicity with going into a county and having our second Global Mission of Peace gathering, and also our Ambassadors Initiative, the Love for All, Hatred for None Day in this county. And so there's a certain amount of synchronicity, and I think that Global Mission of Peace coming to Floyd County has a certain kind of God-guided aspect to it. So we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great gathering. If you happen to be around that area and open for, either for a short drive or a couple hour drive, we have some people going to be making 8-hour drives to get there. But you can register for it at CBC Global Education, and there you can register. And if you don't know how to find that, you can always go to the globalmissionofpeace.com, and there they'll have links for both the GoldFish report and CBC Global Education. And you would click on CBC Global Education, go to workshops and seminars, and there you would find where you register for the gathering. So I guess that's about it from me about that. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thanks, Radagast. And did we have Sanjay is Sanjay joining us? Because I think the ambassador wanted to ask Sanjay to share his experience with the floating and the rejuvenation that he is experiencing from that. But I think Sanjay may have stepped away for...
He's floating. No, he's floating right now.
That must be what he's doing, is floating.
Yeah.
So.
He's floating right now, and in the dream world. And that's what's happening when we're having this major time zone differences. And I think he's quite exhausted of all the release that he's been doing lately, and which he probably would explain during his thing. But I think he needs to have his beauty sleep, and it will all work out to the best.
Okay, well, that's true. And again, we just wanted to remind our viewers that we are starting a new format with the GoldFish updates, which are just going to be shorter versions of updated material. And the GoldFish reports will be more of a full-length interview and feature report. So we wanted to let our viewers know so they can distinguish that when they view the new links that are posted. And we've also wanted to remind our viewers to follow us on Facebook. We have a very active Facebook page at the GoldFish Report on Facebook. We update that. That is really starting to become a very nice alternative news website. And I don't mean alternative, I mean more kind of real. Not alternative in that it's not real, but alternative in that it's actually very real, and we try to present information and research that supports the kinds of things that we report on the GoldFish Report. Also, please follow us on our WordPress blog, which is also doing very, very well. And we post things that are a little bit more on the fringe, so you're not going to find that on Facebook, those stories on Facebook. So please follow us at thegoldfishreport.wordpress.com. And of course, you can always find our reports and our updates on our YouTube channel at Global Mission of Peace on YouTube, and also at thegoldfishreport.com. And I just wanted to ask the ambassador if he had any closing comments that he wanted to make.
Yes, I just want to wish everyone the best, and we will see each other on Friday, God willing. And with that, I want to, end this time of GoldFish Report.
Okay, so we want to thank our viewers again, and this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report.
Thank you.